If you're interested in raising pigs for your family, and if you're trying to find a pig pen to keep your pigs in, this is Rob from Dowdle Family Farms, and I have 7 questions that you should answer for yourself before you begin designing and laying out your pig pen paddocks. I got my first pigs suddenly, and I repurposed an old chicken pen and turned it into a pig pen. And while it has worked for the last 2 or 3 years, there are several problems that I've had with it. And so I'm giving you these 7 questions to answer before you build your pig pen, so that it'll give you better success when you have your pigs in the pen. So the first question that you want to answer is, how many pigs do you plan on having? You want to have at least 2 pigs. Pigs are social animals, and so they do better with at least one other pig to spend their time with. Beyond that, you can feed 2, 3, maybe even 4 pigs for a few months, and then have enough food for your family to eat for the course of a year or so. The number of pigs that you plan on keeping is one of the most important factors that you want to account for in terms of how large of a pen you plan on building. The second question that you want to answer is, what is the pen's purpose? It determines the size of the pen. For example, if it's just a temporary holding spot while they're farrowing, then your needs are going to be very, very different than if you raise the pigs in that pen for their entire lives. Or maybe you're training the pigs to the electric fence, so they're only going to be in there for a few weeks. You can get by with a smaller size. If you plan on keeping the pigs in the pen until their slaughter date, so for 2 pigs, that is roughly 1,000 to 2,000 pounds of manure, certainly 2,000 pounds by the time you add urine to that you need to account for, so that either need a lot of space or you're going to need to be able to manage it. Also, 2 pigs that weigh 200 or 300 pounds are going to be in a small space. They only have a few hundred square feet. Third, how long will the pigs be in the pen? Of course, this is influenced by your answer to the previous question. If the pigs are going to be in there just for a short time while training them, you don't have to have quite as large of a pig pen to keep them in there. If you're going to have them there the whole time you plan on feeding them, the pigs will be in the pen for 4 to 6, maybe even 7 or 8 months. If the pigs are going to be in there for a longer amount of time, it's better to have more space. So if you're planning on keeping the pigs in a pen for their entire lives, I would have at least 1,000 square feet in the pig pen, and honestly, 2,000 or 3,000 square feet would be much better. The fourth question is, how are you going to manage the sanitary aspects of the pen? Now, I'll have a separate video coming out to deal with this topic in more detail, but this is something people often overlook. Some people say pigs stink and they're nasty, and then other people say that pigs are very sanitary and they'll poop in the same spot and they can be trained. And both of those factors can be true depending on how the pigs are managed. But when you have a large number of pigs in a very small space, the potential for them to be smelling and stinking increases dramatically. Pigs do have a unique smell. Their manure has a unique smell, just like cows, and so you will smell some of the manure, you will smell some of the urine. However, if the manure and the urine is not managed very well, then the smell goes from just a smell that you notice from time to time to a stench if it is not managed very well. You also need to be able to deal with disease and pest issues, and one of the most common things is making sure that the pigs are not laying down, eating, sleeping in their own filth. You can manage that through a deep bedding type of a system, or maybe even by scooping the manure out of the pen. Fifth question is, where are you going to locate the pen? You will have to be able to give the pigs feed, you'll have to be able to give the pigs water, and you'll have to give them shade. Initially, a 30, 40, 50 pound pig may only eat 5 to 6 pounds a day. So if you have 2 pigs, you're talking about 10 pounds a day. But once they get larger, you may be talking about trying to feed them 15, 20 to 30 pounds a day. And so that means over the course of their lives, you're going to have to transport nearly 2,000 pounds of feed for 2 pigs. You'll need to be able to get close to the pig pen with their feed. You'll also want to make sure that you can get close to the pig pen with water. If it's a dry time of the year, like this is very dry, these pigs are using a lot of water. In 6 days, they have used about 150 gallons of water. This is 40 to 50 pigs in here. They're smaller pigs, but they're splashing a lot of the water out of the water so that they can cool down. You also need access to shade. When you locate your pen, you'll also want to make sure that you have access to it so that if you need to put carbon materials, leaves, or hay, or mulch, or any other wood chips, any other kind of bedding in the pen, you'll need to be able to get to that pretty closely as well. Sixth, what kind of construction materials do you plan on using with a pen? I've mentioned in the introduction video, and you can see here that these goat panels work really well for me, especially for smaller pigs. But you can build a pen out of 20 to 30 T-posts and 8 cattle panels that's quite large, pretty large size for 2 pigs. That'll be about 1,000 square feet or more, and you can get by with just a few $100s investment. And finally, what are you valuing most when you're raising the pigs? Is it the quality of the meat? Are you wanting compost from the pigs? Are you wanting them to recycle some of your food costs so that you can feed them out of your garden and take scraps and stuff from your garden? Maybe you want to dump bags of leaves into the pen to help keep it sanitary, but also you're going to reduce feed costs by planning on having the pigs eat acorns out of the bags of oak leaves that you may be able to get access to. If so, again, that's going to influence other factors like how large the pen is and what kind of materials you have access to. So this is the second video in the pig pen build series. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really helped me out a lot. It'll also help more people find it. There are some other videos coming along in this series. The next video will be a little bit shorter, and it just goes into some detail about where to locate the pen. So stay tuned, keep watching. Thanks for your support. If you have questions or comments, leave them. If you've got videos of something you'd like to see, let me know what they are, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.